23. Let's talk to Alp Mehmet, chairman of Migration Watch. He's got a big piece in the Mail today. Headline says this: Starmer can dress up the figures, but he's betrayed the British people. Alp, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike.
So the weather's good again today, so it's bad news for old Yvette Cooper, isn't it? Because she's now got the final kind of defence mechanism of this government appears to be the weather.
Well, and you know, we've been saying for some time that the weather actually is far more effective and produces results than the government in stopping people coming across the channel illegally. And that's the position we're in, really. Whatever the government says, you can take it either with a pinch of salt or turn it on its head. They're not stopping the boats. They're not going to stop the boats. Everything they've done and said, as I've said time and time again, with you and others, is going to encourage people to come over, not discourage them. They're doing absolutely zilch, nothing to stop those who are coming across illegally.
No, exactly right. And you point out that he put that ridiculous tweet out a few days ago where he says, I understand why you're angry about the small boats. I'm angry too. And it's like, well, no, you're not. You know, this is a guy who, up until relatively recently, was all for open door immigration. He was all for, you know, international borders being pretty much done away with and having this kind of globalist view of the world where we must help every single person. He's a human rights lawyer. You know, it's just totally against his whole kind of raison d'etre to even want to smash the gangs. And he talks about how, oh, I was in charge of the CPS. I know a bit about smashing organised crime. Well, he doesn't appear to know how to do it.
Follow empathy is how I describe it in that piece in the Mail today.
Yes.
It's just really, it's laughable that we are going to believe that this man and this woman, Yvette Cooper, are actually going to do something significant to stop the boats or indeed to reduce immigration. You know, one of the sort of spins that they put and sought to give the impression that they're being effective was to suggest that they were responsible for the decrease in net migration. It's halved. We've halved net migration. Well, it's not anything to do with what they've done.
No.
It's entirely to do with what the Tories belatedly put in place. What they've done so far and what they've said they're going to do is going to have very little impact on the flows, either of those coming in legally or indeed those who are coming illegally, which is now at record levels. It's at record levels and it's going to continue that way. We're going to get, at this rate, well over 50,000 this year, which will take us by the end of the year to 200,000 who have come across illegally in dinghies since 2018, when this all started. That's the size of a town like Luton, for goodness sake.
Yeah. No, it's a massive, massive number of people. And we used to be told, didn't we, for years, oh, it's a relatively small number. I don't know why you're getting so excited about it. We have much more bigger problems than that in this country. Well, now immigration is the biggest problem this country has, without any question. But have a look at this video. This was put out yesterday by number 10 Downing Street. I don't know who's narrating it, but check it out.
Want to know how we're controlling our borders? Then watch this. We're working with our international allies to smash people smuggling gangs for good. We're giving law enforcement new powers to criminalise those who endanger their lives at sea, and making sure every business carries out right-to-work checks, ending the exploitation of illegal labour. Our plan is working. Since July, we have returned nearly 30,000 people with no right to be here. Hundreds of boats and engines have been seized, and illegal working raids are up by 40%.
I mean, I don't know what you make of that. I find it extraordinary. I mean, the voice...
It's laughable.
The voiceover sounds like it's some bloke from the In-Betweeners, right? And and meanwhile, you know, our plan is working. You can't just say that when it's not working, clearly.
Well, this is clearly someone who has absolutely no idea about immigration policy or what is actually happening. It sounds to me like a very young person who's been told, read this out, and they've gone on to read it. I hear this sort of stuff from 17-year-olds, frankly, 18-year-olds. And my grandchildren of that sort of age speak a hell of a lot more sense than anything coming out of the government at the moment.
Yes. They really do, because, you know, we know several things are going on at the moment, right? We've got the French police who are doing absolutely nothing, despite being in receipt of about £500 million worth of our money. Keir Starmer said the other day, oh, that's going to change. You know, the French are going to go into the shallows of the water in France and stop them from leaving. Well, that's never going to happen. Why on earth would the French police stop them from leaving? All they want to do is for them to leave, and that's absolutely never going to change, is it?
Well, it's not going to change. I noticed that in the clip you've just shown, Mike, it wasn't French police that they had on screen. Police, yeah, there they go. That's not French. I suspect. I don't know. Is it Spanish?
I think it is Spanish police. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in fact. Yvette Cooper yesterday was saying, we're talking about digital ID, but has she been told, is she aware that those coming across the channel haven't actually got any documents, they haven't got any passports? Where's digital ID going to come in actually stopping them coming across the channel? Once they've got here and they've sought asylum, those coming from countries like Afghanistan, Sudan, Somalia, Iran, most likely, they're never going to be sent back. You can have all the digital ID you like, but ultimately you're going to allow them to stay, which is what's happening. And then they'll get into our records with digital ID maybe, but nothing like that will happen until that stage, which means that the traffickers, the message that they get is, don't worry, you send them over, we'll send as many as you like over, because you're going to let them in, and then you're never going to get rid of them. Why wouldn't they come?
No, exactly.
Why wouldn't they come?
And it's a very sophisticated model. And while many of these young men won't have the money and the wherewithal to pay the traffickers to come, everybody knows what happens to them. When they get here, they become embroiled in sort of criminal gangs. They are then more or less, sort of tied to those criminal gangs who say, well, you owe us the equivalent of 5,000 quid. You're going to work for us in our gang until we get that worthwhile money out of you. And they trick many of them into coming here, because you can tell by the way the types of people that are coming off those boats. You know, these are not doctors, these are not lawyers, these are not people who are coming here to contribute to this country. They're coming here to take part in a criminal enterprise. Some of them might even be worse than that. Some of them, as we know, might be spies from Iran. Some of them might be terrorists.
Yeah, absolutely. There are risks and dangers here that we seem to be incapable of addressing. Of course, those coming across the channel, we don't know who they are. They could be terrorists. Some of them have shown themselves to be criminals or terrorists. Yeah. That really is a dereliction of duty on the part of our government, who are now accepting these people, primarily because our courts, when it goes to the courts, when it goes to appeal, what they're saying is that it's for the government to prove that these people are illegal, that these people are not genuine asylum seekers. At the same time, what they are saying is that we accept what you are saying, oh, illegal asylum seeker. We accept that you have come from a country where you're being persecuted, despite the fact that all we have is their word for it. It's an absolute disgrace.
It is a complete and utter shambles. And, of course, we've been playing this morning as well. We'll play it again later on in the show. Keir Starmer's statement that he made just before July the 4th of last year, where he stated that we are prepared for government. We are prepared in every department of state for government. He clearly wasn't prepared, certainly in the Home Office, and certainly not in the Foreign Office, and probably not in any other office that you could imagine either. Alp, very good to see you. Good to talk to you. Alp Mehmet, Chairman of Migration Watch. Big piece in the Mail today, as I say, the headline on which says Starmer can dress up the figures, but he has betrayed the British people. And he knows